You're watching EOtv. 你们现在在看企业家电视。
Welcome to EOtv. I'm Andrea Collins.
And I'm Randall Mauricio. This is your weekly Entrepreneurs Organization webcast. Hi again.
Hello.
So, Andrea, how do you get your people to do what you want for you and your business?
Well, balancing the needs of customers, suppliers, investors, employees, and other stakeholders can be one of the toughest challenges an entrepreneur faces.
Yeah, according to business expert and former Entrepreneurial Masters Program speaker Bruce Kasanoff, you can get everyone pulling in your same direction by mastering the art of influence. Bruce shares 5 steps to mastering the art of influence with us.
Let's take a look. Make sure they have the ability to do what you want. The only true obstacle to persuading someone to do something is if they lack the ability to do it. This comes into play more often than you might think. For example, some employees are not detail-oriented. Even if you persuade them to be highly organized, they'll never succeed in this regard.
Help them perceive the value they will gain by doing what you want. Show your audience what they will gain by helping you. It's a classic case of answering the question, what's in it for me?
Show them that the value they desire will come true. The greatest prize in the world isn't worth much if you don't think you'll win it. To persuade someone, you have to offer a reward and show them the path to attaining it.
Reduce their perceived costs associated with doing what you want. People have a much greater ability to change than they realize if they are willing to make the effort. The perceived costs of a change can include longer hours, harder work, or more inconvenience. By reducing the perception, or better yet, the reality of these costs, you make it easier for others to do what you want.
Reduce their perceived risks. Most people hate to fail. Even if all 4 conditions listed above are satisfied, people can still resist your idea because they think it's too risky. To secure their cooperation, you must reduce their perceived risk through assurances and incentives.
If you find Bruce's advice and the other speaker tips on EOtv helpful, there's a lot more in store for you at this year's Entrepreneurial Masters Program. Applications are still being accepted for the class of 2011, which will take place from June 17th to June 21st. And Andrea, it's officially the 18th year that EO has been doing this program, actually. Good stuff, isn't it? In this spotlight, John Ratliff, CEO of Appletree Answering Services in Wilmington, Delaware, shares the importance of forecasting growth. In John's business, he realized that organic growth would be slower and too difficult. He also realized the importance of a financing partner, in this case a bank, that understood the acquisition strategy. So John's forecasting of the business allowed for the bank to have confidence in extending an acquisition line to allow continued growth of John's business. Planning works.
Hi, I'm John Ratliff from Appletree Answering Services. We're an inbound call center that handles messaging, customer service, dispatch type work for small to medium-sized companies. We're based in Wilmington, Delaware. One of the things as I come to BOG that I'm reminded of is it was really important for us to grow, and we were able to organically grow from probably 1997, 98 through about 2003 at a 30 to 40% a year pace organically. But we realized to continue at that pace, we needed to get access to capital. So through a relationship that my accountant had with a local banker, we've been able to cultivate a banking relationship that has allowed us to grow at that same rate and actually an accelerated rate from 2003 until today. And our bank recently approved us for a $4 million acquisition line of credit to specifically be able to go out and target acquisitions, knowing that we had essentially the money in the bank to get the deals done. And the bank now is considering upping our acquisition line of credit to about $8 million. So that access to capital, especially in the tight capital markets that exist today, has really been a critical factor in allowing our business to get from that $1 million to $5 million to $15 million level. We would not have been able to do it organically without that bank relationship.
In the current economy, getting paid can be tough. With more and more customers postponing payments, business owners are adopting new methods to receive their payments and stay afloat. The problem is, if they push their slow payers too hard, they risk losing those customers. As EO New Jersey member Peter J. Bredlaw Jr. found out, sometimes it comes down to a tap on the shoulder as opposed to strong-arming people into paying. Peter is the president of Quality Service Associates, Inc., a heating and air conditioning company. He started seeing more of his customers paying late over the summer, which had a significant impact on his ability to keep up with vendors. In fact, more than half of his clients are currently overdue on their payments. Peter's solution? He makes a point of handling late payments from longtime customers himself. With customers who aren't paying on time, an accounts receivable clerk chases the money. Ultimately, those who don't pay lose the ability to make emergency calls to their service department. When the customer tries to call, the call is intercepted by the accounts receivable clerk, who tells them to have a check ready when the technician shows up. Peter feels that he hasn't perfected his system yet, but it's working well for him. Sometimes all it takes is a simple nudge to help customers get up to speed on their accounts.
In this tip of the week, Jim Craig, U.S. hockey Olympian and Olympic coach and marketing strategist, shares the importance of recognizing work that must be done versus work that can be done.
In this week's tip, it's about scheduling and being prepared. There are things that you like to do, things you want to do, and things you have to do. By the end of the day, you need to focus on the things that have to be done before you go to the things you want to do.
That's another edition of EOtv. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you to Jim Craig for our tip of the week.
And as John Ratliff reminded us, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
We'll see you next time.